Hey, what's going on everyone? Rito here. Today, I'm back with another For Honor class guide, and this time, I'm going to cover the Kensei Samurai. I will give you a full guide on his moveset, how to use the class effectively, and explain all his strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so let's get started. The Kensei is a Vanguard hero type, meaning that it is a very adaptable class. He is an all-rounder. His weapon has pretty good range and deals some nice damage, but he also has some useful defensive abilities for close range fights. Keep in mind though that he is one of the slower fighters. All in all, I think it's a nice class to learn the basics of the game, because his moveset is very easy to remember. But it's also one of the harder classes to use against players of a high skill level, since his slow attacks make it quite easy for your opponent to read what you're going to do, unless you really mix up your attacks. Alright, let's start off with his chain attacks. This is actually the main strength of the Kensei. He has some very good chain attacks, mainly because of the abilities that come along with them. First off, he has a triple light attack combo, which can be done by pressing R1 3 times. This one isn't too special, but the speed on it is pretty decent, especially if you attack from above. So if your opponent gets within close range, this is a nice tool to stop his heavy attacks or guard breaks. All the other combos from the Kensei finish with a heavy attack. So you can start with 2 light attacks and finish with a heavy attack, or you can start with 1 light attack and follow up with 2 heavy attacks, or you can do a triple heavy attack combo. There's 2 abilities that make all of these combos very strong. First off, if you finish your chain with a top heavy attack, so a heavy attack from above, this third attack becomes unblockable. This deals massive damage, but you have to keep in mind that the animation takes quite a bit of time. Therefore, if your opponent is good at dodging, it may be difficult to hit that third attack. However, that's where the second ability comes into play. During the startup of that unblockable heavy attack, you can actually feint the move and switch to a side light attack or a side heavy attack. So in other words, if you do that top heavy finisher, at the beginning of the animation, you can do a light or heavy attack from the side instead of sticking to the top heavy attack. Now if I do this, I mainly go for the side heavy attack because it's uninterruptible. So even if your opponent hits you during the side attack animation, your attack will not be interrupted. Really? What you have to do is always keep your opponent guessing if you're going to commit to the top heavy finisher or if you're quickly switching to a side attack. It's easier to hit the side attack, but the top heavy can't be blocked and deals massive damage. I recommend practicing a lot on these chains, because they're the main strength of the Kensei. Okay, now on to some special moves. First, I want to discuss the grasping pounce. To do this, first move forward with the left analog stick and dodge by pressing X. Then, do a guard break by pressing the square button. This move is basically a normal guard break, but the forward jump gives you a lot of extra range. Guard breaking is actually very important for the Kensei. First of all, it gives you an opportunity to get an easy hit, which is always nice. Especially because it counts as a chain starter, so you only need 2 attacks for the unblockable top heavy instead of 3. What you can also do, and what is often even better, is that after a guard break, you throw the enemy away from you by pressing the guard break button again, and then follow up with a chain finisher. So now you can directly do that unblockable top heavy attack after the throw. And again, you can switch to an uninterruptible side heavy attack during the start of the animation. Next up is the Helm Splitter move. To do this, you first have to move forward with the left analog stick and dodge by pressing X. After that, you have to do an R1 light attack. This is actually quite a useful move, not only because it is a pretty quick strike, but also because this move always does an attack from above, even if you were aiming to the side. So you can make your opponent think that you do an attack from the side, and then quickly do a Helm Splitter move, so you attack from above instead. The Helm Splitter also initiates a chain, so it counts as the first move from a chain and you only have to do 2 more after that. Another special move is the Swift Strike. To do this, move either left or right with the left analog stick, dodge by pressing X, and then do an R1 light attack. What's nice is that this combines a swift dodge with an attack. Furthermore, it also initiates a chain, just like the Helm Splitter. However, be careful that you can still get hit if your opponent does a side attack. All in all, it's just a quick and simple way to start a chain attack. The last special move is the Rushing Sweep. To do this, you first have to run by pressing L3, and then, while running, do a heavy attack. You can mainly use this move in a 4v4 game mode to chase down enemies that are running away from you. But apart from that, it's not so special. Alright, so this was his moveset. Now on to some tactics. The Kensei really relies on the basics of the game. His strength lies not in his special moves, but in his chain attacks, especially in combination with the feints. To pull off these chain attacks, and in particular the unblockable top heavy, you first need to find an opportunity to start these chains. Since the Kensei is such a slow fighter, you have to make use of basic tools such as the guard break, the parry or the dodge. It may be better to play a bit more defensively, so you can first parry or block your opponent's attacks, and then start your chain, either by attacking directly, or preferably by first doing a guard break. Against defensive opponents, the Swift Strike and Helm Splitter come in handy to get through their defense and start your chains. In any case, you have to keep mixing up your basic attacks. Switch between heavy and light attacks, and keep your opponent guessing in which direction you will strike. Try to think like your opponent. This may sound a bit vague, but what I mean is that you have to predict what is on your opponent's mind. If you're in a chain attack, and the opponent thinks you're going to finish with the unblockable top heavy, then he's probably going to dodge sideways, so you should feint and use a side attack. If he appears to be focusing on blocking, commit to the unblockable top heavy and break through his defense. All in all, the Kensei is a hero that really focuses on the basics of the game. No fancy moves, no bleeding effects, just you and your sword. It shines in its simplicity, and by mastering the basics of the game, you will learn the way of the sword and rise to glory. There's still a lot left to learn, but for now, this is going to be the end of the commentary. I hope you learned something useful, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you all very much for watching. I am Rido, and I wish you all a very good day.